on a hot day in DC to find somewhere that has good coffee, good cakes, is air conditioned and has bathrooms is a find. If you see that, but that's Marine One. There's usually two of them actually. Hey YouTube, it's Theme Park Bazza here with
Mrs. Bazza.
And today come with us for a walk. We are in one of our favourite cities. Yes, we are in Washington DC at the Lincoln Memorial, and that's the apt place to start. Today being the 1st of June, which is Pride Month. I'm wearing my top. And of course this is where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his speech around the civil rights. So an apt place for us to start. We're going to start at the Lincoln Memorial. We're going to walk down the mall, show you some of the sights. Of course, there will be a cheeky beer at some point in here, because you know us. So come with us as we have a walk around one of our favourite capital cities, Washington DC. With a view down the mall from the reflective pool from the Lincoln Memorial. We'll go up there in a minute, but there is some kind of event on. So I don't think we can actually go up the steps at the moment. They're doing some kind of speech. We'll give you a shot up there. So we're going to head down this way, past the reflecting pool. We've seen this drained. It is only like a couple of feet deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's called the reflecting pool because obviously you can see the reflection of all the monuments all the way down. You can see the right down to the Capitol building, which is the other end of the mall. But it's very deceiving because how far is that away, Max? About 2 miles?
No, it's about 4 miles.
4 miles, is it?
Yeah.
It's quite a walk if you want to go down there. Well, look, if you want, it's your touristy stuff.
No, I'm alright. Just never noticed it before.
The thing we like about this city is there's lots of people around. It feels like a real city, especially if we like to come on the weekends when it's nice and quiet and there's lots of people playing football and running and spikes, and it feels more, it's like a family city even though it's a business city. And there's just so much open space, isn't there? Mm-hmm. So we're probably going to walk down the left here. We're not going to go down as far as the Capitol building today. We're probably going to go about 3 miles and then break for a coffee. And by the way, the noise you can hear in the background, that is the cicadas. It's the, are these 17-year cicadas that are making that racket. And they're very loud and they'll get louder as the day goes on. So we're going to walk down here and head across the mall. We're actually quite near DCA airport, and in a minute you should see a plane going over there. You can catch that or not? Where is it gone? I can't see it. It's over there, is it? But this is quite close to DCA airport, the one we flew into. So you can see a lot of planes flying over the building here as you go in. And the ducks are out and about this morning. Good morning, Mr. Duck. Whack. Whack. Oh, there's a whole family of them here. Here they come. See if there's helicopters going in as well. You will get a lot of military helicopters because the Pentagon is just up there as well. We drove right past the Pentagon on the way in. That's what you'll typically get, and I can hear one, but I can't see it because they usually fly pretty low. Yeah, right below the tree line. You can hear it, and I can see it through the trees. Flying into the Pentagon area. Their bathrooms down there. Yeah, the Vietnam Memorial, Veterans Memorial is over that way as well. And there are some, over that way, there are some restrooms, various restrooms that they've put in over the last few years that are good. But this to me is always DC, these leafy walk. I guess it reminds me of Virginia a lot. Lots of open spaces, lots of green. No shelter though. If you're coming here in the summertime, bring a brolly, not for the rain but for the sun, because it's so open here. Unlike New York or in London where you get a lot of tower blocks, everything is so open here and so green that you will get burnt very easily. So bring your brolly, or some parasol as we should call it. Max and I used to live in Charlottesville, which is about what, an hour and 50 minutes on the train, maybe 2 hours on the train from here. So we came up here on the train many times for a weekend, for a long weekend, didn't we? Come up on a Friday, come back on the Sunday. That's why we like this city. So if you ever come into DC and you need some tips on places to stay, things to see, we're probably coming up here 5-6 times a year. So of course everything changes, so I'm not guaranteeing what we saw a few years ago is still here, but we kind of know some of the tips and tricks, where to get a good coffee, good places to stay, and some tips for staying out of the sun, places to go. Though COVID is still, restrictions are still in place here, so I don't think any of the Smithsonian museums are open at the moment, so there's no places to go in. A few open, we'll show you the good ones, and where you can go to bathrooms and get drinks and stuff like that. And here's the World War II memorial with the fountains. We'll walk around here and we'll see you sure each one of these pillars has a name of the different states on it. Starting with some of the oldest states around here. We've got a beautiful fountain. This was turned off with COVID, but they've got it all back on again now. Really nice area down here. Very respectful. Here is our old state, Virginia. So we're going to head over to the Washington Monument, the oldest monument in Washington DC. When you're on these paths, watch out, there's some big roads you've got to cross, but you've also got to watch out for the segways, segway tours and scooters and bikes, because there's a lot of people coming in from different directions. And joggers. Yeah, and joggers, but joggers go around you, the others are a little bit faster. I don't know if you can see from this picture, maybe when we get closer, but the Washington Monument is actually in bricks of two different colours. About a third of the way up they stopped building it because they ran out of money. And then they continued, I can't give you all the exact dates, but if you go on the tours around here, they'll give you all that, but I know they paused it. Maxon and I went up it, as I say. It's now closed, but went up.
We were one of the last to go.
One of the last to go, because they had the earthquake hit in what year? It was about 2008, was it? And it would crack. Was it 11? And it cracked some of the building, and so they just closed it for safety. And it was closed for 5 years, I think. Now all these things, if you want to go in any of these like tourist areas, what you do is go online and you can reserve a ticket. It's only a few dollars, because a lot of them are owned by the national parks. And then you're best to reserve your ticket. You can walk up on the day, but chances on a busy day of you getting what you want are pretty slim. So go online, search for US National Parks, Monuments, Washington DC, and then you can blag your tickets with the time and skip the crowds and put it to what suits you. We will be able to see the White House over here in a bit. We're starting to see the Smithsonian's starting on both sides. Smithsonian museums, which are great places, all free to go in. You don't have to reserve to go in there when they're open. That's one of the beauties of DC. Yeah, that's the only museum we've not been in, the African American Museum that Obama opened, because you couldn't get in there. It was booked up like a year ahead with tickets, so that was a real tough one to get into. And that's the only one I think we haven't been into. And at the centre point here you can see the south face of the White House with the lawns. You can't get much closer than that road down there. That's about as close as you can get. You can get closer if you go on the other side. There is the there's the White House. Hello, Joe. Hope you're in. Flags up, so I'm assuming he is. So just to give you some idea where we are, we started back there at the Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial. We're at the Washington Monument, and we're heading down towards the Capitol building down at the far end. We're just coming to the bit of where the Smithsonian's, where the museum started out the side. And of course, as we just showed you, the White House is over here. Sorry for the noise. You're in the big city now. If you do, when you do go on the tours, you actually sit on these benches out here. If you can see, there's some benches where those people are. You actually sit on the benches before they take you in, and this glass building at the front is where you're going to go in. But they kind of get you in groups of your times to go up. There's also, you see that white building there down there at the front? That's where you go get your tickets if you're coming on the day. And they also have this little shop in there. That, I know it seems miles away, but that's the place. One of the places that is a must do is over there when you're coming here, and that is the Holocaust Museum. It's pretty harrowing, but it's just one of those places that you have to go. It's very sobering to go in there. It's roughly where that tower is, and up by the side there where those red buildings are. They have a museum and a cafe a little bit out back from the mall, a couple of blocks back from the mall, but definitely somewhere to go. Again, getting tickets in that is very hard to do. You got to book well ahead. You can tell today is a quiet day. None of these food trucks parked all the way down here at the weekends. This is on a Tuesday, so it's quiet. Also, we're noticing there's a lot of these new signs gone up since last time we came that give you directions as to where you're going to be heading to and things to go and see. That's quite good. So the Holocaust Museum, as I say, is down that way. It's quite good putting those signs up, but yeah, it's very quiet here today. Normally you would be 3 deep at those lights when you're crossing, trying to get across. So here's a map. That's where we started. That's the reflecting pool, World War II Memorial, Washington Monument. So we're just here where this stud is. So we're across from the American History Museum, and that's a good museum to go in. We've been in there a few times before. Then we're going to go past the Natural History, the National Gallery. We're not going to go all the way down to the US Capitol. And on the other side you've got Botanic Gardens. They're quite good on a wet and cold day, aren't they? It's like going in a steam room with those. American Indian Museum is really good. Air and Space is just cracking. There's a whole area there. And then you've got the African American Museum, that's good as well. And really this also gives you some indications as to which of these have restrooms and toilets. And if you're going to go to the White House, then that is down here. So basically it's quite a ways off the mall. And then the other one that's quite a ways off is the Thomas and Jefferson Memorial we went to last time. That's a little bit off on its own lake over there. Yeah, we're not quite used to it being this quiet, are we, Max?
No.
We're usually here at the weekends when it's busier, but even then there's used to tourists around. Lots of Italians, but I guess tourists aren't coming in, are they? I was just thinking when we're here there's lots of different accents you hear. But obviously with the US still being shut, borders being shut, it is impacting a lot the tourist economy. But I mean, if you look around here, there's nobody. Then again, we're usually at the weekend and there's sometimes festivals on the grass, but you're usually dodging people.
Families.
And families and bikes and strollers. But as you see, that's the view in front and that's the view behind. So we got it all to ourselves. But then again, I'm feeling like a cheeky coffee might be coming on, Max.
Yeah.
And a cake.
Yeah.
We've done a little bit of walking, maybe we deserve a little bit of a break. We only had a fried breakfast this morning.
Another one.
Another one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link to the vlogs above where we've staying in the hotel with the same fried breakfast every day for 5 days.
That's why we're walking 3 miles.
That's why we're walking and not taking the metro, though the metro is your friend. We may go on that and show you how to use it later on, because when the weather turns bad or the weather is really hot, the metro is a good way of getting around DC, getting close to where you want to go and not either getting soaked or getting burnt. But we'll keep on walking. But we also went, these little things in the ground are usually ventilation shafts. Here we're actually above a road, so they're going down to the road. But over down here, when we get further down, you'll see there is a underground gallery that you can go into, which is quite unique, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We discovered. This building over here with the towers are getting close to it. I'll have to find out the name of that one, which we will see on this next sign. But if you need, is that just called the Smithsonian itself?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. It's the Smithsonian Castle, I think that's right. This one here, which we'll just double check the name for you on here, which is the Smithsonian Visitor Centre. This one here. If you need bathrooms or you need a drink, you don't want to pay $3 from a street vendor. They have very clean bathrooms in there. It is air conditioned, and they have a little cafe. You can go get something. So when it's really, really hot, we'll pop in there to cool off. And they have some nice gardens around the back as well you can walk. So that building with the green roof, if you go in there, there's a spiral staircase that goes down, and then there is like a function rooms and a gallery, where my finger is, that runs all the way across. It goes all the way across here and all the way down this way, and there's like vents and stuff in the ceiling and mirrors, but it's a whole world under there. It's where you do like college, university night classes and stuff. But again, it's somewhere, so that is right next to the visitor centre. A whole world underground in DC you may not have known about. It's a good place to cool off. But again, the visitor centre has saved us quite a few times, as far as, and some exhibitions in there, but as far as cooling off, getting a drink, that's the place to remember when you're on the mall. And I'll catch up with Maxine, who's getting ahead of me. There's a lot of these little cafes here, these brown ones, but they only tend to be open at peak times, so don't rely on getting a drink from that. The other option are all the vendors on the corners who will sell you a bottle of water for $5. So bring your own or pop into the cafe is my recommendation. You have, of course, the visitor centre. You have that new building on the side that we're not sure what that is. You've got these funky red things going around, which we're doing tourist things. Never seen those before, as we mentioned. And we are very quickly, at 10:30, getting towards the sculpture garden. So we've walked over to the middle here to have a look at that newer building, because that is definitely wasn't here last time. So we started down that end. You can still see the Lincoln Memorial down there, and then, sorry for the flashy zoom, we are then heading towards the Capitol building that is down this end of the mall. So there's the roundabout, just across from the visitor centre, and again that's that new building. We have to find out what that is, but that merry-go-round I should call it. Looks like they're doing a lot of construction work as well around the Native American Museum. That's a good one. It's got a good cafe in as well, doesn't it, in the bottom floor?
Yeah.
Some great food in there. So,
Much to the museum.
yeah, museum was okay. Yeah. And they have plenty of temporary toilets, whether you need to do a number 1 or a number 2, you pick the appropriately sized toilet to go into. And I think I was more right on the distance max,
Yeah.
based on how far we walked. I think it's about 2 miles, not 4.
Yeah, I got confused.
We've only been walking like just over half an hour, and we're almost at the Capitol building.
Feels longer in the summer. Huh?
It does when it's like 100 degrees in heat. Every step is like 20 steps. So you can always go to that side and sit on a bench down there in the shade on there.
Just gonna go up here and get a Capitol building.
Capitol building shot. Yeah, we've got to get a shot.
We've got everything else.
Tourist shots. They also have done all this grass. It's looking really, really green, but they replaced it all, didn't they? Do you remember they were doing all the drains? Took them ages. This thing was just a building site for about a year, where they put in new drains in here. But it's obviously paid off. It's some beautiful. Was it? That grass is looking really, really green. Do our Capitol building Instagram shot. If you see that, but that's Marine One. There's usually 2 of them actually, doing either taking the president in or practicing, but you'll see a second one. There's usually 2 helicopters.
Let's go!
No, it's just a regular helicopter. Pretty sure this is just a security circling around while the Marine One is on the ground. They're just doing laps of the area. I'm pretty sure as soon as Marine One is airborne again, he'll be off. This will be like the backup security crew. So as we sat down here, these buildings over here at the top, the square ones, this is the National Air and Space Museum. To me, it's my favourite museum in the city. It's huge inside. You can spend a whole day in there, so if you get a chance, have a look in there. There's the Capitol building, and just over in the corner by the Capitol building there is the Botanic Gardens, which are a great place to go on a cold, wet day. It's dry, it's warm. Not in the middle of summer, but in winter it's an ideal place to go and hide. There's bathrooms in there as well, but no cafe. And then as we come back down this way, we're just sat in the shade, cooling off, and then we're going to go over to the sculpture park and see if the French cafe is open. It's just 11 o'clock, and this park only opens at 11 o'clock. But it has one of the secret gems in here, which is the French cafe. If you hold me and Max talking about those Napoleons, this is where we discovered them. On a hot day in DC to find somewhere that has good coffee, good cakes, is air conditioned and has bathrooms is a find. And the Sculpture Park is one of those finds. And you've seen where we are. We're just at the end here, across from the National Air and Space Museum, just before the Capitol building. The gates have just opened. It is 11 AM. There's lots of very interesting artwork and fountains, and across there with the flags, that is the National Archives, where we like to go in because that's where the Declaration of Independence is. A lot of those documents are there. Again, you have to get a ticket. We tried, but I think there is nothing available for the next 6 months so far. So we'll see what time the cafe opens. The cafe might not open till 12. It might not be open. We'll have a see. But this is the cafe, this green thing here. There is outdoor seating as well. The bathrooms are around the back side of it, just where that guy's coming from. They're outside, but inside is air conditioned, and it's really cool here in the evening. They have music playing. They have a little gig just in the shaded area before the fountains. So it's quite a nice little hidden gem in the middle of DC, and we'll see if we beat these crowds or come around the other way to the cafe, because this place gets really, really busy at lunchtime. Try and avoid it. All the locals come here, so try and avoid coming in here around lunchtime, or you'll be waiting a long time. It's like some of the tables are available. We'll go and see. Mask on, so no cakes. Go on to the other end if you want. I'll wait here. Don't forget your serviettes there. None of the cakes, Napoleons, they've got limited choices, but we got a cookie to share and a coffee and a juice. And it is air conditioned in here, which is the blessing. So a very limited choice, but no Napoleons, but at least it was open, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah.
And air conditioned, so yes. The Pavilion Cafe, very good. And in front of us, as I mentioned earlier, is the National Archives. Got to go there if you come into DC, and here's the tip. When you first go in, go inside, head to the back, go to the right, go to the elevators, head up to the top floor, because that's where the showing room is, with all the Declaration of Independence and everything. Do that first, and then work your way down, because everybody starts at the bottom and then you get in the line, and by the time you get up there, you're waiting an hour to get in. So top tip, go to the back, elevator, top floor, see the Declaration of Independence, then work your way down through the 3 floors to look at the different areas. Sounds like the helicopters are going again. So maybe the Presidente is off, but we might walk up to the White House and check that out. Yeah. So we're on Constitution Avenue. We're kind of walking down. This is basically the mall is over that way, so we're 1 block over this way. So we're to the front of the Smithsonian's that we saw from the back before. This is Constitutional Avenue. It does lead down to Pennsylvania Avenue, which leads down to the White House. So we're going around the front of the National History Museum, which I'm pretty sure is closed at the moment, isn't it?
I think so.
That's the Natural History Museum, which is closed at the moment. That's where you come in off Constitutional Avenue. Most of these museums are on this side. You have to get in that way. Being aware when you go to any of these museums, it's like going to the airport. You will go through a security check. You will have to take all your bags out, X-ray scanners, all that stuff. If you do need water urgently during the week, you will find on this stretch here outside the museums is where there will be lots of these street truck people. You want to risk a hot dog or a snack or a drink, you will usually find the food vans all the way down here at the weekends. Obviously not during the week, because we ain't seen one. Luckily we've just had a coffee. So we're going to cross. We nearly got hit by all the Segway people as well. I didn't mention them before. Not paying any attention to the crossing signs. So we got 33 seconds to get across. So we're going to head down to Pennsylvania Avenue. So there's lots of bikes and things, but the Segways are a real pain, because they've usually got lots of amateurs who don't know how to ride them, and they tend to just not have very good control. See if we can get around here. Lots of these rental scooters. Let's go on the back. Scooters everywhere from yesterday. Parked everywhere. I wonder if this is where you can cut through where the cafe is in here. Do you remember there was a cafe area around the back of here? We might be able to show folks. Yeah, we're coming down here to the Federal Triangle Metro Station. That's why I remember coming down here. One of the metro points if you want to get off to see those things we just saw. You go around this loop here. Yeah. I think the cafes are in here. It's beautiful architecture. I mean, look at that. Is that the Trump Tower? I think it is. That's the clock tower. This is the old post office. It's now Trump's Hotel. But up there is something called the clock tower that you can do a tourist. It's bolted onto the hotel, but it's not part of the hotel. And if you come around this side and enter through this side down here, this is where you can get to the clock tower. So again, it's one of those free tours. So and post office clock tower, under there you go under the floor, you get some great sights from Washington DC from those windows up there at the top. So again, another top tourist thing, look for the post office clock tower. That is correct, it has a Starbucks. Maxine reminded us, we're downstairs, isn't it? Yeah, when we came out, and that's air conditioned as well. So if you need a quick coffee, if you really love Trumpy, you can go in the hotel. We tried to get to the clock tower from inside the hotel, but they sent us outside. You cannot get to it from inside the hotel, you have to come out and round the back. Head for the Starbucks, that will get you in. There's some great architecture, and the English pub is just the other side of the hotel we'll be heading to. Oh, did I let you know about that? Oh, shouldn't have said up, should I? But I think if you come through here, there used to be lots of eating places in here. This is Federal Triangle, where you get onto the metro, and there's the escalators to get onto the metro. Obviously with COVID, I think a lot of this will be shut down now. But if you're looking for a quiet area, yeah, if you're looking for a quiet area away from a lot of the noise during the summertime and when there's no COVID, this whole area around here is cafes, tables outside, chairs. It's really set up for the business people. But it's quite a cool little, you get away from the noise and bustle of DC. Just look for Federal Triangle. And I believe there is steps down as well to get down there. There's a cafe down there as well, I seem to think, from before. Again, everything's pretty dead now because of COVID. But another one of these little secret gems that, yeah, I thought there was cafes down there. You have tables, cafes, some eating places down there. But this is the big area. It always reminds me like a European street. Lots of tables and chairs and cafes. All this usually has tables and chairs. I see this has got some fenced in areas here. National Children's Museum is here. I've forgotten about that. And this will take us down to Pennsylvania Avenue, where we'll bear a left and head down to the White House. But a little bit, you'll hear, very quiet. A little bit of solace and solitude away from the big city. That's what I like about this. You can walk 3 minutes in a direction and find somewhere like this, out of the way from the hustle and bustle. And try and go to the middle.
Yeah.
Break the rules.
Rebels.
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 Rebels without a cause. So you will see this place a little bit on the news. This is called Freedom Plaza. This is where a lot of the marches start from. It's an idea where here you can do your free speech. So you'll find in this area here, a lot of the big marches will start here. This is where they'll start all the presentations. We can hear people shouting in the background. So you get a lot of interesting characters around this area. So across from the Freedom Plaza is the National Theatre. You've got lots of good shows on here, right in the middle of DC. There's all the social media links if you want to get some. Usually some good theatres. What's the one we went to in DC at the other end? That was near the Lincoln Memorial. We went to see Hello Dolly there.
Yeah, was it the Kennedy?
Kennedy Center, yeah. Kennedy Center has a lot of live things as well. That's down near where we started this walk. Some good. Just check when you're in town. There's a lot of good shows, off-Broadway shows you can see here in DC. Near to the White House, you start getting near some of the swanky hotels. Here's the Intercontinental Hotel. Good places to go for a coffee or a cocktail, or if you have the money, go and have a meal. But there's quite a few around here. A lot with a very interesting history of presidential visits and meals and scandals in DC, remember. So yeah, as you get closer and closer to the White House, you're going to see a lot more of these posh places to go have a snack outside. So we have to go up one to the White House now, kind of go around it. Very quiet today. Just saying to Maxine, of all the cities in the world in the US we go around, I just noticed we haven't seen a single Walgreens or CVS. And every other city you go, they're like on every corner, aren't they? Hidden, like even in an old building. But nothing here. So you see a lot of scooters around, a lot of bikes to hire. Good way of getting around DC, which is pretty flat. So it is a good way, and they have cycle lanes, as you see, which makes it easier for folks. So we're going to head up here, turn to the left, and we'll be at the north side of the White House. There's the Washington Hotel. We saw the W before. That was the Washington. That's got a, yeah, that's got a few historic things around it as well. So the deco artwork around the windows. A lot of really nice buildings in DC. Really nice buildings in DC. The area we're not going to today, but it's worth a visit, is Georgetown. Georgetown's a really nice area. That's kind of out to the west. You can get there on the metro. That's the best way to do it. But Georgetown is on the Potomac, just quite near the airport where the planes fly over. Where they have cafes down. They do river cruises. You have a pirate cruise. So it's worth. And Georgetown's like a very small. It's like Harrogate or something like that. It's a very posh shops. But that is definitely a place to go check out if you're in town. Yep, hot dog places are appearing, and tiki-taki t-shirt shops as we get closer. Stands, usually around the White House. Usually on the other side, actually. We're approaching from the east side. Usually on the east side. On the west side, there are a lot more of those, because that's where the buses go normally. Back in the day when we first came here, you could walk down here many moons ago, before all the security barriers went up. And now that is not an option anymore. Yeah, last time we came you could at least get up to roughly the sidewalk area. First time we came you could get to the fence. Second time we came you could get to the sidewalk area. Now as you see they got the whole road mapped off, and you're only allowed to get even to the other side of the road due to all the idiots who are climbing the fence. But I'll have to dig out and insert some photos, see if I can find them. Me and Max stood up against the fence when Obama was in, when we could actually get right up there. But that is not the way today, unfortunately. Usually get lots of protesters here in this park. I think there's a group down here by the flag. They're usually outside the White House at some point. So yeah, can't get anywhere close. I think the last time we could get in the middle of the road, couldn't we?
Yeah.
But every time we come it's another 3 feet back and another 3 feet back, because they say of all the idiots. Yeah, but we were up there right up against that fence, weren't we? That would only be maybe 10 years ago. Not even that. There you go. So we're going to rest our tired legs for a short while, and then I think, Maxine, have we deserved a drink?
I think we have.
We have done... How many steps have we done today?
So far, 9,500.
10,000 steps today, so...
And it's only noon.
And it's only noon. We've only been here since 10. Ish. So we're going to walk back up Pennsylvania Avenue and go to, I think I mentioned earlier by cheeky mistake, the British pub that we always go to when we are in town. So the White House Gifts, that was a very good shop, and where you go from off Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House, you're literally just across on the other side of the road. Oh.
Extra large.
Gonna get one here. Mallow. Yeah, it's like a pucker embroidered as well. It's very nice. 30 bucks. There is the official White House gift shop. Some nice stuff. Like these as well. 30 bucks. Very decent quality waterproofs those. Yeah. Could get something subtle. It's really good quality, is that?
Real good quality.
Got books, socks, ornaments, games, bags, stickers, hats, postcards, cool bags. Dog accessories. White House towels, soaps. I wonder if that's what they actually have in the White House. I doubt it. Very good quality stuff though. Ties. You're looking at the socks here.
Bobby G.
Oh yeah.
Send it to Chloe.
Inauguration stuff. 60% off. Max, 60% off the inauguration stuff.
Falling hundreds of feet to certain depth, and he reaches out, he sees a little twig on the side of the canyon, and he grabs it.
Yeah?
He takes a deep breath, and all of a sudden he sees the roots of the twig start to come loose, and he looks up at the sky and he said, "Boy, why me? Why me?
Good quality one as well.
I pay my taxes, I go,
Signature on the side.
why me?
It's not on properly because I'm going to kiss it.
Son, there's just something about you I don't want."
T-shirts as well. We spoke to the lady and said, how long have you been here? She was only 14 years. So I think we missed out. So we got a hat and we got a t-shirt from the inauguration for like $6 each. Collector's items. And then we're going to head down to the pub now. So we are heading back towards the Capitol building and back to the post office. You see the clock tower there we showed you earlier? The pub is just across from the clock tower on Pennsylvania Avenue. So Pennsylvania Avenue runs right down to the Capitol building. That's where we're heading. Take it back, the first CVS, but they have no signs out front of it apart from the little one on there. So there is a CVS just as we came past the, actually just a little bit further back. What was that called again? Freedom Park. Yeah. So it's just back from Freedom Park. On the corner is CVS. Very subtle signage. And we're headed towards the clock tower, because across from the clock tower is our go-to pub called the Elephant and Castle. So we'll go in here and have a little beverage, little snack to round off our day in Washington DC.
If I like the cheesy leek and potato.
They really cut back on the, they haven't got the mini ultra buds. They also don't have Boddingtons on draft anymore, these are the drafts, so
I never looked at that.
yeah. Really cut back on, see it's a UK pub. COVID's had its impact here. So we went for the shareable sausage rolls with a curry dip and the shareable chips with 3 dips, a curry, a dill and aioli, a garlic aioli I think it is as well. Because we're not really hungry because we had a big breakfast, didn't we, Max?
We did.
It took a while to come, but they're red hot, so it's a good thing. So thank you for joining us today in Washington DC. I hope you like some of the tips and tricks from one of our favourite capital cities, Capitol building back there. Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you have some comments, comment below. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. It does help the channel. And we will see you later.